Yeah. 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 So many lies that you hear from the net, they don't get her respect. She reporting the truth, not a check. You want an unbiased opinion straight from the chest, not a bit of accomplice or someone here for a check. Tune in, these are thoughts from a lawyer on a mission who goes so hard it's like she works on commission. Trolls in the comments might say she tripping cause they lack the knowledge, they don't know they missing. Got a couple current events that you like, wanna know about law from the eyes. Tired of all these blogs running lies because their agendas are disguised. Tune in to the intellect, cause I'm sure y'all missing all the facts of the case that she steady is gifting. Someone here for the people, man, it's so uplifting. If you ain't subscribed yet, then you just omitting facts.
Hello, everyone. It is Pam Esquire, also known as your law intellect. Listen, today has been an epic day in the Bishop Lamor Whitehead saga. He had a hearing today, and we're going to get into it because I want to make sure I give you all context. I know I usually say go back to the other videos. If you want a deeper dive into it, go back. But I am going to definitely go back just so you guys know what we're talking about before we get into this hearing. I had myself and probably about 35 or so of those that are in the membership section, we watched Lamor Whitehead this morning in a contempt hearing where there are allegations that he should be held into contempt. And baby, the energy he was on today, and this ain't what Pam said. I'm going to say this is what Andrea said. This is what Cupcake said. Who else was over there? All our people that was in there. This is what they said. They said Whitehead was on this type of energy.
You's a clown. That's what you. Why don't you call me a cardboard bishop now? You tough? Call me a cardboard bishop now.
He's not going to call you that.
Huh? Look on Facebook Live. Call me a cardboard bishop now. You clown. That's what you are. You clown. That's what you are. Why don't you say what you say on Facebook Live, sucker?
No.
Don said you was tripping today, Whitehead. This is what he said. He said today you were up in court fooling. Okay. So I have a guest on here who was watching as well, but she wasn't watching with us.
Hey y'all. Pam said it. I don't care what Pam said it. Don't let Pam said it.
I told all of them, I said, oh no, we were in the membership section and we had a live earlier in the membership section. I said, oh no, I'm calling all you guys out. I said, well, if he goes live about this, I'm saying everybody's name. I'm going through there telling all the people that Jessica said it. Let me tell you what Jessica said. I'm put that in the chat. I'm gonna say Jessica said, Brett Bishop said, oh, Chef Donda, I'm throwing all y'all under the bus because you guys were going in that doggone membership section today.
They was cutting up, Pam. I was in there. I was in the bushes because I was in there. You know, I was at work today, child. They was cutting up. I saw y'all.
Thank you. It wasn't even me. I was just sitting there like, oh, because I had it on mute. So I was like, oh, they were the ones in the chat going off and going in. So anyway, for those of you guys that don't know what we're talking about, Bishop Whitehead owns a property in Connecticut. And I know, we went over a motion last week where they granted the plaintiff, which is the mortgage company or the lender, their motion for summary judgment. But just so you guys are clear, when you go through the process, it is a process. So I don't do real estate. But from my understanding, that is like the first step. But then they have to do all these appraisals and other things on what the property's worth. Then they decide if it's going to be a strict foreclosure or a sale foreclosure. Then the court has to enter in the order for it. So basically, there's a whole process. And then I believe you still would have a redemption period, just like you do if you have a house, where you can redeem it. So he does still, to my understanding, own the property. It's just the process has been going on, and there has been a process in order to take the property from it. The building clearly is still in his name. It's not in Whitehead Estates' name, which is the owner. It has not been foreclosed on. Like, nobody has bought the property. So hopefully that clears it up. And I know people in the chat are going to probably still mention it. So make sure you guys let them know to go ahead and replay this back. You get what I'm saying, Really B? Because I know Really B was the same way. Like, why is he going through all this?
Look, that was the first thing I wrote in my notes. He still say this his property. That's the first thing I put in my notes. Because that's the first thing he said to the judge. Your Honor, my building. I said, this he's still saying it's his building. That's the first thing I
said. And for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, this is why.
In the rain, y'all. Slowing down the rain, but we working. We are working, y'all. Working. Stairs complete. Whitehead Estates, y'all. Coming all together.
The Whitehead Estates. It's all coming together.
That's what he said. So what had happened was, I know you guys hate when somebody starts a sentence like that, but
I love it because I know it's about to be some stuff coming.
Thank you so much, Simply Elegant One, for the membership. What happened was, while this building is going through this foreclosure process, there were issues with the building. So apparently Connecticut, their housing authorities, the fire department, all of them were allegedly claiming there were violations that needed to be fixed. That's why you see him in that video I showed. He was putting up fire escapes in order to comply, I guess, with the fire department, with fire marshals. And so the plaintiff, who is the loan holder, the lender, essentially was like, hey, this building is going into crap and they're not passing any of these codes. There's a lot of work needs to be done. There's a health and safety violation, a life safety violation. And so we need a receiver to be entered in. And what a receiver does is essentially they come in, they hire a property manager, and this is what I'm told. This ain't what I do either. So they hire a property manager who comes in and they take over the property. So they make sure everything that's fixed is supposed to be fixed. They do that. They any of the compliance that needs to be done. And the receiver has the authority to, you have to turn everything over to the receiver. So here is the order that, let me see. Let me find the receiver order. Hold on one second, guys. Because usually I'm like, yeah, go back to square one. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that today.
No, you gotta bring us up to date, child.
Yeah, they ain't gotta go back to 50 videos to try to find out when I was talking about this.
Because I misunderstood what a receiver was as well. I mean, I understood the role of the receiver, but I this is good information for me to refresh my memory too, child, because them videos was 8 months ago.
So let me find the order granting the receiver, and I'm going to put that up. Y'all just hold your horses. Make sure you hit that like button while you're waiting. Hit that like, subscribe if you haven't done so already.
Yes, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button.
Yeah, we got goals over here too. We trying to, I'm trying to
make
get
it
where
happen.
Really be at. I'm trying to get up there where she at.
Shall I really be trying to get to where Armand Wiggins at?
Thank you, Tracy J. Wilson. I appreciate your membership.
Hey, Tracy, that's one of my boobs right there.
See? Let me see. So this is the order granting the receivership. So as you see, it says on the 30th day of March. So this has been going on since March 2023. By Superior Court of Connecticut, Judicial District of Hartford, it is hereby ordered that the relief requested in the motion should be and is granted. A receiver should be and hereby is appointed and is set forth in the court's memorandum of decision. Ian Lugowitz, who was the star today in the hearing.
Oh, he was hilarious.
He got the managing partner, and he'll be the one that takes over. So it says he is authorized and empowered to take immediate charge and possession of the property.
Immediate charge.
Immediate. That was back in March. Hold, protect, preserve, ensure, manage, improve, everything you can think about. Lease, he can lease it out, operate, control. He is in control. Then if you go to sub B, you take immediate charge, possession, and control of all original records, books, leases, security deposits of leases, operating licenses, controls, permits, keys, passcodes, intellectual property, websites, domain names, security code. Like if you got a website for people to go on in order to rent the property, Ian had the right to do that. Like he literally takes over. And so as you see, he got to give the occupancy, tenant list, liens and encumbrances, everything you can think of. Look at this. All encumbrance of everything. Take immediate charge, possession, and control of all checking, savings, depository, payroll, vendor, petty cash, lockbox, credit card merchants, or other accounts. Open new bank accounts in the name of the receiver as necessary to carry out the obligation of the receiver. Yeah. You see all of this, guys? Hire, employ, discharge, and fix the compensation and condition for such employees, agents, contractors, subcontractors. Enter into, modify, amend, terminate, renew, extend, or assume or reject contracts as the receiver deems necessary for the management, improvement, repair, security, marketing, ensuring, and preservation of the property. So their job is really to preserve the property, because obviously if this goes into the foreclosure sale portion, they want it to be able to get the most value out of the building. So the plaintiff has a stake in making sure this building is preserved. Enter into, enforce, modify, renew, extend, assume, cancel leases and other future agreements. Intervene, appear, and participate in legal actions. Maintain any licenses and certifications. Take immediate charges and possession and control of all the borrower's rights, because he's the borrower. Title and interest in any and all proceeds of any claims. So as you guys see, because I don't want to bore you, Ian had the right to do basically whatever. He took over. So this was the problem. Ian alleges that he went to the property and he was advised by the superintendent there, that the superintendent was advised. Well, I don't think, was it Ian that went to the property, or was it maybe somebody that worked? It was either him or somebody that went to
It was somebody else, because remember, Ian said he never actually met Whitehead in person.
Right, okay. So it was somebody that worked for the property management company came, and the property management, the guy who came, he didn't get a chance to testify today, and we'll get to why he didn't. But he said he was told that they weren't going to allow him into the premises.
Sam said, mm-mm.
Sam was like, yeah, Sam was like, no, I got instructions that you can't come in. So he got instructions from Whitehead not to let them in, despite this order. So what happened was the receiver did his report. We went over that. And when we went over the report, he basically said, they not letting me come in, so I don't really have nothing to report. And I think I had a first report too. Let me see. So this was the first report, and we went over that. Yeah, that was April 1st through April 30th. And all what he basically said was on March 30th, the Superior Court entered that certain order granting motion for appointment. Then he skipped all that. As of April 30th, the property management was being finalized. So then he says he has the same thing that we just went over. Let's see. He got his bond because they had to put up a bond. So he says, on April 11th, receiver conducted a walkthrough of the property. Throughout the month of April, the receiver contacted Mr. Whitehead and Mr. Inga. Mr. Inga is Whitehead's attorney, regarding access to the property as well as requested property-related information, including but not limited to rent rolls, tenant contact information, EINs and W-9s for Whitehead Estates LLC, rents collected, current property insurance information, utility information, contact information for the super. As of April 30th of 2023, no information was turned over by Mr. Whitehead to the receiver. Demand notice to go out on May 2023. So this is what they're alleging. They were alleging that despite this court order, he was like, he's not letting you guys come into the property. So in response to that, the plaintiffs filed a motion to hold him in contempt for failing to abide by the order. Now, this is plaintiff's motion for contempt, and we'll just go to the facts, the relevant flat facts, just to refresh your recollection. On March 30th, the court appointed Ian Legowitz to receiver of the property. Therein, the court specifically directed the defendants and their managers, members, partners, employees, agents, and affiliates to deliver immediate possession of the property to the receiver. Further, the court expressly enjoined the defendants, that's Whitehead Estates and Whitehead, and any person's action in concert with them from interfering with the receiver's possession and operation of the property. 2, required the defendant to turn over to the receiver all keys within 48 hours of the receivership order, and 3, turn over all leases, operating bank accounts, books, and records related to the property within 7 days of the receivership. So then, you know, this is the citation, and it's in the document we just read of what the order said. The receiver did not gain access to the property until on or about April 11, 2023. Since the date the receiver was appointed to today, the receiver has made numerous efforts to contact the defendants, their agents, and the defendant's counsel to obtain access to the property, be provided with keys, rent rolls, pertinent court order records, accounts, etc. from the defendants. However, and despite numerous written demands from the receiver, the defendants have either been entirely unresponsive or have outright refused to cooperate with the receiver and comply with the court's receivership order. And this is from the affidavit from Legowitz, or Ian, as we call him. That's his first name. Additionally, despite attorney Hyde Inga's appearance for both defendants in the above captioned action, attorney Inga has repeatedly represented to the receiver that he only represents Whitehead Estates and does not represent Whitehead in the individual capacity. And therefore, attorney Inga represented that he could not assist with this endeavor. Y'all put a pin in that, because that came up in the hearing, and it was hilarious. On or about May 24, 2023, a video conference was held where numerous representatives from the city of Hartford, including Judith Rothschild, we heard that name today too, the city of Hartford, director of blight remediation and housing code enforcement, the receiver, the receiver's agent, and plaintiff's counsel were all in attendance. At that time, the various reps from the city of Hartford requested the receiver facilitate a housing, building, and fire safety code inspection of the property, including an inspection of all common areas, the basement, and each individual unit. These inspections were specifically requested to identify and facilitate the resolution of the outstanding life safety and municipal code violations that remain uncured at the property. The inspection was scheduled for May 30th of 2023 at 12 p.m. and the receiver posted the requisite notice to each tenant on or before May 26th of 2023. On May 30th, 2023 at approximately 9 a.m., the receiver's agent, this is what I was talking about, y'all. So the receiver's agent arrived at the property to prepare for the inspection. Upon arrival, they were greeted by Whitehead, who indicated that he had received word from, quote, several tenants that an inspection was to be completed, and Whitehead was there to prevent that from happening. Thereafter, the receiver agents called the receiver in order to allow the receiver to directly communicate with Whitehead. So this is when Ian was called on three-way. When on the phone with the receiver, Whitehead reaffirmed his position that he was at the property to prevent the inspection from moving forward and also to entirely prevent the receiver, the receiver's agent, and the city of Hartford's official from gaining entry to the building. Most egregiously, Whitehead threatened the receiver when he stated that if the receiver wished to gain access to the property, that the receiver, quote, better come down here with a SWAT team or else. And that's according to Ian.
That's what he said.
The inspections were subsequently canceled. Thereafter, the receiver sent a written notice via email to Whitehead and attorney Hyde, confirming that Whitehead's actions that day constituted a refusal to comply and to cooperate. So those are the most pertinent parts of what was going on. So what happened was 2 months ago, there was a hearing that was scheduled for this contempt hearing. And or it might have been less than 2 months. It was a little bit ago though. And I guess some subpoenas went out by the plaintiff too late, because you have to give subpoenas for somebody to come testify in a reasonable amount of time, because of course Whitehead's attorney has the right to cross-examine. So Whitehead's attorney was actually trying to get a continuance, meaning he wanted it delayed and come back another day anyway. Well, he ended up lucking up because one of their witnesses, the lender, FM Home Loans, they're the lender's witnesses, the subpoena didn't go out in time. And so the court was like, okay, we're going to postpone it till August. So we was all hitting the air because we were all watching that too. Remember, like the members were in there watching that hearing. So it ended up getting postponed. Well, it got postponed to today. And when it started out, we all knew that it was about to be real lit in this hearing, because it starts out and the attorney for the plaintiff, FM Lending, the judge immediately, first I was like, oh, this is about to be some bull. That it may end up settling or something. Because in the beginning, the judge said, well, have you guys tried to meet and confer so that you guys can come up with an agreement? Because I really don't want to have to go through this if I don't have to, so if you guys could just meet, have you guys try to consult with each other to see if you guys can cure this contempt instead of go through this process. So this was a different judge too. So apparently in Connecticut, they rotate judges. So this is the third judge, I believe, that I've seen since I've been keeping an eye on this case. So this is a whole different judge. It is a whole different courtroom. So that's when she started out saying that. So then the attorney for the plaintiff was like, Judge, yes, we have tried to cure it or come to some, basically he said we haven't been able to come to an agreement, is essentially, I think, what he was saying. Boy, Whitehead jumped up. Were you out there, Crystal, when Whitehead first started talking in the beginning?
I came in right before they went off to confer. I heard the guy, because when the guy from Scotland, he couldn't get connected, and she was like, well, we might need to just postpone this anyway if he can't get on here.
Yeah, that was after. So
I missed that part.
I think the judge asked, not if was Whitehead, has there been any improvements on the premises? I think is what she asked. She was like, have there been any improvements on the premises? And I think the response from the attorney was like, basically no, like we're still in the same position. So then here goes Whitehead, excuse me, Your Honor. So then he says, he asked his attorney, Inga, he said, Mr. Inga, do you mind if I talk to the judge? And Inga's like, okay, if you want to talk, that's okay.
Inga was over him too, child.
He said, no, Inga, I'm getting to Inga later. And so the judge said, okay, you can talk, Mr. Whitehead, but we have to swear you in first. So he, swore him in, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So
I was there for that. Yeah, I was there when they swear him in, yeah.
Yeah, so then he says, so Whitehead starts out and he's like, Your Honor, what he stated was incorrect as far as any progress on the property. The manager, he has said he has the managers and stuff that's been in there inside the property work. So he basically Whitehead accused the management company of vandalizing the property. So basically, when this receiver had the property company come in to do what they were ordered to do, he was alleging that they came into the premises and they vandalized his property. He said they busted the locks on 4 to 7 apartments and left it open. Now it's a bunch of squatters in the building, and he got to be the one to get the squatters out. Just 2 days ago, they were there, and he started going like he had this whole dissertation ready. Like he started out just like ready. Like, I know I'm gonna have to go and I'm gonna have to defend myself almost. So the judge was like, hold up. This is not what we're here for. We're here for the contempt hearing. Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but what's before the court is a motion for contempt. And so he said one thing Whitehead did say is he was like, he wanted a new receiver appointed.
Right.
So he said, yeah, and my counsel is going to do an oral motion in order to do a new receiver. And Judge's like, that's not what you're here for. He said, well, Judge, are you saying that I can't do an oral? But I have to put it on paper. He's like, yeah. He said, okay, well, that's fine. I'm like, oh, this is about to be a show.
But what was funny too was, did you catch? I mean, I don't want to get ahead of you. When the receiver was like, well, he just purchased his stuff right there. He said he got it on security. We don't know nothing about no security cameras. He didn't give us access to no security cameras. I said, this fool talking.
Yeah, that was later on because he mentions it again.
Yeah, he said it twice.
Like he mentions this in the beginning. The judge kind of cut him off. But later on in the hearing, he ended up talking about it again. So then here come Ian. Ian came. Ian comes on, and I base he's on the phone because he said he didn't have connection through the internet, so he couldn't do like a video connection. Ian, of course, is the appointed receiver. Ian said he in Scotland, and so he said he's in Scotland on vacation. And so, that's why I guess the connection wasn't good for him to do the video, but he could do the voice. So the judge was basically like, no, we're going to need you to do the video. So if you can't connect to the video, then we're going to have to postpone. It almost felt like she really didn't want to do this case, in my opinion, because she was like immediately telling her clerk, go find another date. And everybody was in the chat over there on the membership like, Lord, we stand and agree that his connection.
Okay.
They was over there praying, talking about that his connection. That was Andrea. Who else was over there praying to the Lord? Let me go look in my chat. Up there praying to the Lord that the connection comes together. They were standing in agreement.
I agree. I feel like the judge didn't really want to even deal with this.
Yeah, that's what it felt like to me. Because she immediately was like, because she knew that she wasn't going to be on the case no way.
Right.
Because she was leaving. So, she was going to another rotation. So I felt like she just did. That was just my opinion. That let me go find who was saying that stuff. Who was standing in agreement talking about some please, Lord. Okay, said, can we touch and agree that this man on vacation is able to connect to the video because we need it? I'm telling on all y'all. Let me see who else has something to say. Andrew was like, there he is when he popped up. Tracy said that man was gonna find a coffee shop in Ireland that they just didn't give him a chance.
Okay.
So then the judge said, well, why don't you guys go? Then she went to this whole reaching an agreement thing again. So they went off of the camera for a while, and I guess they were supposed to talk to see if they could come up with an agreement, some type of consent agreement instead of go through this hearing. Well, and the guy was like, Ian was like, no, Judge, do not stop this hearing. Hold up one moment. I'm going to try to find me,
some internet.
And he was like, whoa, wait a minute. Don't just stop this. And Tracy ain't lying. It was like, he probably was on his Google Maps. Like, where is the closest place with Wi-Fi over here?
He ain't lying. I mean, Tracy ain't lying. He sure was. He was like, oh no, we're going to find the internet today. No, man, if I got to knock on somebody's door, I have to just sit in their living room for a minute.
Then the plaintiff's attorney, though, he was like, he said his client, which is obviously the loan company, was like, no, do not postpone this hearing. Basically, go by his affidavit. Just if he can't testify, oh well, go ahead. Which you can't do because you have the right to confrontation. And of course, Whitehead and them are going to challenge the affidavit.
Absolutely.
The only way you can do it is by live testimony to cross-examine him on the, challenging the affidavit. So that wasn't going to work. But they was trying. They were trying to keep it going. So we went off break for a while and we was chit-chatting. Let me see what else y'all was saying in the chat so I can say y'all said and not me.
Pam being petty tonight, y'all. Look at Pam. Pam being petty tonight. Pam said, I'm tired of y'all paying my name. Got that man calling me bald-headed and stuff. I'm tired of y'all. I'm tired of y'all. That's y'all fault. That's y'all fault. That Pam being petty. That's y'all fault.
All y'all going down just like me.
If I'm bald head, all y'all gonna be bald head.
All y'all gonna be bald headed. He going on all y'all pages. So we come back. We take our little 20-minute break. We come back. Ian popped on the screen. Everybody was like, "Thank you, Jesus. He came through for us." Ian came back. He popped on that screen, and Ian came. First of all, he apologized to the judge, and he was being slick when he apologized. He was like, Your Honor, first of all, I just want to apologize for my attire because, to be perfectly honest, I wasn't going to cancel my vacation because this case has been rescheduled so many times that I didn't even think it was going to go.
I ain't mad at him either.
So excuse my attire, but, no disrespect to the court. And she was like, okay. That's fine. So then he asked, oh my gosh. So then you got on there for that? Did you want to
Yeah, I was on there for that.
Ian got on there. If Whitehead came up in there he had that same
You's a clown, that's what you. Why don't you call me a cardboard bishop now? You tough? Call me a cardboard bishop now.
He's not gonna call you that.
Huh? Look on Facebook Live. Call me a cardboard bishop now. You clown. That's what you are. You clown. That's what you are. Why don't you say what you said on Facebook Live, sucker?
No.
That was Ian's energy.
Ian was ready. Ian was ready today.
He wanted all the smoke, okay?
He did.
Came in with all the smoke. So, of course, he gets questioned about everything that we read about his experience, about the SWAT and all of that. So, when Ian was testifying, one of the things that stuck out to me was he said, I've been doing this since 1989. And he was like, and I've never, he said, and I've done.
He said, this is the worst.
Yeah, he said, I've done over 5,000 properties. And he said, and I've never had anyone, he said over 5,000 property. And he was like, and this is the worst case that I've had. And he said he's done contempt hearings, but this is the worst that he's experienced. And he said, and so I want this to go as far as this has to go. So he wanted the ends of justice to just be like, I need justice to do his thing right now. The wheels of justice need to be turned a little bit faster because he basically was like, he said he lied. He was like talking about threatening his property manager. He said he was alleging that he disallowed Hartford, the city inspectors, to come in. The keys were supposed to be delivered shortly thereafter, and Whitehead didn't deliver the keys. What happened, according to him, is he changed the locks. So because he has all the authority we read, he went and got a locksmith to change the lock. So that's supposed to be how he got into the building. And he said Whitehead to change them joints back.
Right, that's what I was getting ready to say. Not only did he change the locks, he said Whitehead then came behind him and changed the locks back. I said, this nigga is, I'm sorry, this dude is bold. He is bold.
He don't give a damn. I was like, wow.
Don said, wait, hold on. Don said it's 600 people in here and we don't even have 300 likes. Come on, y'all.
Oh, no.
Come on, y'all. This some good entertainment right here.
You guys better hit that like. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna play my son intro over and over again.
Oh Lord. But yeah, honey, I said Lord, I said Don. Ian said, I've been doing this. He said, I've done over 5,000 receiverships. He said, I ain't never had no problem. He said, this is the worst I've ever had. Yo, he was mad. Like, you could tell he is over Whitehead. You could tell he was over it.
And then he talked about the parking lot. He said he personally observed the disrepair of the property. The guy Sam, that's supposed to be the super there, told him that Whitehead told him not to give access, like what I read in the document in the contempt motion. And that Sam, the super, still wasn't giving him no access. So Sam was like, listen, I don't want no smoke from no Whitehead. I ain't letting y'all in. Allegedly. So then he said the parking lot was all blocked off with chains and fenced and all of that. But apparently, I know some people from Connecticut was saying they did have issues with theft, and Whitehead explained that later. So they had a bunch of issues with that. So I guess that's why car thefts and people stealing cars and using the property or something.
Yeah, he said something about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Child, you can't believe nothing that man say.
Wait a minute. So let's go back though to the so the attorney asked, well, did the inspection on May 30th happen? He said, and this is part of what we just read in the motion. He said, Ian said, I've never met Whitehead personally. It's the only time I've really seen him was on these the phone calls and these Zooms. So he said he didn't get involved until his property manager tried to get into the building, was told by Sam, like, you're not getting up in here. Oh, no, Whitehead said that he couldn't get in there. So that was direct. Whitehead told him he couldn't get in there. So he said his property manager called him and he patched in Whitehead, who said, no, I'm not going to allow access to the property. And if you wanted to come down here, you needed to bring SWAT. So that's when that alleged statement happened from Whitehead.
Wait a minute, but that was the funny part too, because listen, Ian was tripping too, because
Ian was fooled.
Because the attorney tried to say alleged. He said that's not alleged. He said it. It ain't alleged. Oh, he said it. I said now both of y'all can't be cutting up at the same time now.
He said that's not alleged. That's what he said. He was gonna
right.
Stop saying
he said that ain't alleged.
Examination. We ain't get to Inga yet.
I'm sorry.
We got one more thing. Well, he talked about that they tried to get police escort, and the police escort deemed the situation too dangerous or something like that. So they was like, yeah, we're not about to do that.
And that's what I said. When I heard that, I said, so wait a minute, the police said, nah, we ain't going down there. So that means that the police must have had some reasonable belief that Whitehead was serious.
Man.
Because even the police were like, yeah, no, we're not going down there. He said, bring SWAT. We ain't playing with them. Yeah, nah, he good.
So then, like, the plaintiff's attorney asked him, well, what's the current status on the documents? And so Ian said, I still don't have any documents, no utility records. The only thing that he learned was that the subsequent receiver, that there was another receiver on the property because there was a non-payment of water. That was another case we kind of briefly went through, but they were trying to get a receiver. The city was for lack of paying a water bill. So apparently a receiver was entered in for them. So they're the ones actually taking the rent directly because they have a receiver for them not paying the water bill. So it's two receivers on this property. He also said he learned that the insurance expired long before the receivership happened. And he didn't give him, he wouldn't give him information on it, but he said that, I guess through his own investigation, and the lender eventually put some type of insurance on it. Was there anything else you remember the plaintiff was talking about? Really, B?
No, I don't have my notes in front of me. I did take notes. I have to pull my notes in a moment. I was finishing up my dinner. So go ahead, Guru. Go ahead.
So then, wait a minute. This was the funny part. So then now Inga comes in. He's the attorney for Whitehead. Inga comes in and he starts asking him questions about, well, when did you first get access? Didn't you say you changed the lock? So basically you did have access 2 weeks after and this and that. So then here go Ian. Can I ask you a question? And attorney Inga was like, Well, if the judge allows you to ask a question, listen, I was telling the members, I said, ain't no way I could have been that attorney. If I'm questioning you, no, you can't answer me a question. Let me tell you how this thing goes. I ask the questions and you answer them. If you don't understand the questions, you can tell me, I don't understand, Pam, what you're saying. But you're going to answer my questions. This is not how this goes. You don't ask me questions. This ain't no
That's what they taught me at Law and Order University. Now, that's what they taught me.
I've never seen that where he was like asking, well, if the judge says you can. No, you can't. So I can totally see when Whitehead finally blew up and was over it with Inga, because he was asking a bunch of questions or whatever, and then Whitehead like busted up in the middle of the conversation, and he was like,
he was mad.
Conversation said when he talked about the SWAT and what B was saying, where he said that's not allegedly. I'm not alleging it. He said it, and I'm saying that he said that. Like, it is what it is.
Right. He said it.
He said, can you? Then he said, so Whitehead comes in and was like, Inga. He was like, you just gonna let him talk and say what he want to say? That's not his job. He ain't supposed to be able to say what he want to say. That's the judge's job. I was like, I ain't gonna lie. I was feeling it a little bit because Ian was getting real feisty. He was talking to Inga like, dude, like, let me ask you a question. Didn't you say that you didn't represent Whitehead and the estate? He said, didn't you just say you only represent the estate, but you don't represent Whitehead personally? That's why you can't do anything to assist us in getting him to comply. And that's the question he wanted to ask. So that's what he got out and everything. And then I guess the judge actually asked Inga and was like, are you representing Whitehead and Whitehead Estates? And Inga was like, yeah, I'm representing both of them. So he actually did get his question off and he answered it. I said, Ian is
Child, Ian wasn't playing with y'all. Ian said, because what happened, well, I don't know. I hope I'm not going ahead of you again. But at a certain point, Ian got sick of all of it. Ian was like, listen, I don't even want to do none of this. Okay, this is a waste of time. Can he just give me my paperwork? Can you just make him give me the paperwork? This is a way. I said, oh, this dude is mad, man.
Ian was like, hold on. First of all, he said, can you just give me, how about you just fast forward all of this and just give me my stuff so I could do my job? Like, give me the paperwork, and we wouldn't. This is a waste of my time. I guess he said, I'm in Scotland in vacation. I got to deal with it.
I'm on vacation. The kids waiting for me to go play golf. Shoot.
He said the court's time. This is just a waste of time for everything. So then the judge was like, well, that's what I was trying to do. I told you guys that this is what I want you guys to do, is to go try to work it out. So then here goes Whitehead. He comes in and he says the judge says, well, that's what he said. All he wants is that the court, that you do what the court ordered. The judge was like, I wanted you guys to work it out. I don't really want to go through all of this. This isn't good for you to go through. He said, just do what the court ordered. The man said he just wants to do his job. So can you guys just come to an agreement to allow him to do the job? It makes my job easier. That's when I was like, yeah, she been trying every way to get through this. So then Whitehead, at first when he started this hearing, he was at his office, I guess, at his house, whatever the office is with all the plaques in the back. Next thing you know, Whitehead in the car.
That's when she got mad. That's when the judge got mad.
She got pissed. She was like, you should not be driving during the court proceedings. She's like, this is why I hate remote court. Like, because if you do A, B, C, and D, I have debts that can get you together, basically. And was like,
basically, she said she'd had the marshal take both of their butts out of her court. That's what she said.
Yeah, she said, and the way you guys both have been acting, over talking me and saying what you want to say, I would have both of you guys taken out of the court. Both of you guys have been disrespectful. Ian and Whitehead was going head to head.
So then here come Whitehead trying to be all humble.
Talking about, first of all, I've been slighted in this whole situation.
The racist.
He said, Miss Rothschild is a racist. The judge was like, stop, Whitehead. And then Whitehead said, I take it back. I understand what you said. He called the lady Miss Rothschild racist and said, basically, this has been unfair for him.
He said she's racist. And look, that's when the judge was like, look, Mr. Whitehead, listen. Basically, the judge told him it is in your best interest to go on over there and talk to these people and just get them what they want. Because she said, listen, we are only here to hear the contempt. I don't want to hear none of that other stuff. And honestly, Mr. Whitehead, there will be sanctions. Basically, she said she let him know, sir, you're gonna lose. If you let this keep going, it ain't looking good for you. That's what it sounded like she said to
Yeah,
me.
I mean, it's all allegedly, we don't know what she would have done, but yeah, it was looking like she was trying to get him a
Right.
heads up, like it's in your best interest to just go ahead and try to come to some agreement. So then Whitehead came back. I apologize, Your Honor. I apologize.
I meant no disrespect.
I just haven't gotten a fair shake. I just want the judge to hear my side. It's not that simple. Ian is saying that he's lying on a lot of things. Ian is lying on a lot of things. I never threatened him. Those are additive lies on an entire situation. As far as turning over leases, that's not in the order.
Child, just lies.
I said, wait a minute, what? He said that's not in the order. As far as the keys, my team said they'll work with him. He never changed the locks. All he did was bust the locks and he came in. Yesterday, he said he busted the locks and left it open. And I guess he left the sledgehammer or something like that on the stairs. And he said he had to spend money to fix the lock because he was afraid that somebody would come in and, steal the boiler and steal all the stuff downstairs in the basement. And so he also said there's no life threatening as well. He's fabricating this because the only reason he said basically he's saying a receiver was put in because the property needed a week's worth of work.
Lies.
I think is what he said. He was like, it was like a week's worth of work. He said he did all the fire escapes and they approved. And he was saying the city, this is what Whitehead is alleging. He said the city approved before he had them do it. I guess he turned in the sketches to the city and they approved it. So he said he went and he went according to the sketches and got the fire escapes in. But then when he went to court, they told him the bars were like an inch off or something, like the bars were. So he was saying, so that was one of the reasons why they were saying he wasn't in compliance. He said he has a $50,000 fire alarm on top of his newly fire escapes. And I guess if any smoke comes, it goes directly to the department. They get noticed. So he was basically saying there is no life issues, no life safety issues that are there.
But he also was blaming the city because, again, this all goes back to nothing ever being his fault. Nothing is ever his fault. And he was blaming the city when he was like, yeah, and it was just 1 inch off. I mean, they approved it, Your Honor. The architects, they approved it. And now they're saying it's 1 inch off. So that's all that's wrong. But they approved it. I was like, nothing is ever this dude's fault. It is never his fault.
So then the judge says, after she let him go through, because she said, I'm going to let him talk because sometimes that's what, people just want to get what they have to say off their chest. I was like, yeah, it should be good as a family law lawyer. And Inga, if he's not a family law lawyer, he would be great at that. Like, she would be good on a family court judge because she has this empathy about her that your girl ain't got. Because I would have went in on Ian. Like, hold on, who you talking to? If I was Whitehead's attorney and I said on the flip side, even his attorney, I would have been checking them a little bit more. They just seem real. Maybe the stress levels, maybe they're a low stress place in Connecticut because everybody just seemed like, hey, how's it going? And like looking like this, like you're not gonna talk to me like that as an attorney. You're just not. You're gonna know exactly what my position is, and you're gonna know you're gonna comply with how this needs to comply. I'm gonna say, Your Honor, because they're unresponsive, or I'm gonna tell them, can I treat them as a hostile witness because I'm about to direct them all the way to the end, or cross-examine them all the way to the end. Like that's not gonna work, And it just seems like they're just really laid back, in my opinion. That's what I got. But the lawyer was like, she's been a lawyer. She said, I've been a lawyer for 19 years and I've been a judge for 13. And she said, as a lawyer, I advocated for my clients. And as a judge, she wants to make sure that justice is administered. And she said, believe it or not, Mr. Whitehead, I'm trying to help you. It's like, I'm trying to help you.
She really did. She
You have
really
a
did.
very good lawyer, she said, willing to help you on his behalf. So she made it clear that she knows Whitehead's lawyer. She's
Yeah.
made that she's made that comment a few times, and it was some conversation about it or whatever, some limited conversation about it. So then she says, I understand how emotionally charged this can be, but I just think the better way to resolve is to reach an agreement and do this amicably. Let the attorneys address the issues. Yes, your attorney is very good. And, I've seen them, when yeah. So then I think Whitehead came in again. Then he mentioned a prior owner. Remember after that?
He went off on the owner. Yep.
It was saying that his prior owner got arrested, and he was like, Your Honor, the prior owner got arrested, and how he did whatever he did to the building. He said even the inspectors or the people from the city have come out and have complimented him on how he's turned the building all the way around. And then he said, I just want this receiver removed. Because him and Ian was beefing. He said, I just want this receiver removed.
Yeah, I feel like if they see each other on the street, it's going to be a problem.
Man, if you guys missed that hearing, y'all missed the Kiki and the Kaka. That's all I got to say.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, so I know you guys want to know how this ended. And that's why I said Whitehead got 9 lives to get it right, man. He be having multiple chances to get stuff right.
He sure does, Cheryl.
So they went off camera for like 30 minutes. And then they came back and they said, and Inga said, Your Honor, I'm happy to come back and tell you that we have an agreement. And I'd like to put the agreement on the record. Mr. Whitehead has agreed to comply within 2 weeks. He'll turn over the keys and everything within 2 weeks. He's going to turn it over to the attorney, I guess, to Inga. And then Inga is going to turn it over to the attorney for the plaintiff. And then the attorney's going to turn it over to the receiver. And then they'll file a notice of compliance. Then there'll be no need to go forward with the contempt action. But of course, if there's non-compliance, then they'll be back. And they gave a date to come back just in case he didn't comply.
And was it Ian or was it the attorney that was like, I want to make sure that date works because I know we're going to be back or something like that? One of them said it. I don't
even remember that.
One of them said it. I don't remember who it was, but one of them, either it was the attorney for the plaintiff or it was Ian. It was probably Ian's smart mouth self. He was like, we'll be back. I think it was Ian. He was like, we'll be back.
Yeah. So then Whitehead, he was like trying to say something again. The judge was like, after it was all on the record, well, his attorney, Whitehead's attorney Inga, when he put all the stipulations on the record, what they agreed to, he said, and you will make all good faith efforts and due diligence to comply with the 2 weeks. And of course, Whitehead said, yeah. So he said, it's nothing else. Then Whitehead comes back, that's not all. So then he still starts, so then he starts talking again. And he was like, we will be filing a motion. They were talking about them filing a motion to get a new receiver.
Baby, the judge was like, well, I won't be here for that. Good luck.
Yeah, she was like, well, thankfully for me, I'm rotating to
I ain't got nothing to do with that.
So that's good. But he was like, I'll be we'll be asking for them to stipulate to a new receiver, or we're gonna file a motion for a new receiver. And then that's when he explained about the vandalizing and destruction and all of that stuff on the property. And that no, let me strike. That's when he talked about why it was chained and all of he said the Kia boys was there, and I guess they steal cars and they were using his property to put the cars back there, and that would be why he has the chains and stuff around the parking lot. But then they asked as well that Ian be prevented, that a stay be in place, I guess, so they can file this motion, because I guess they don't want to deal with Ian no more at all, because they're saying due to the vandalizing and the destruction of the property, we want a stay that Ian can't come on the property for the 2 weeks. And so the judge said, well, is there anybody there that's securing the property? He said, I had two superintendents and the property is secured. And that's when he was talking about the Kia boys stealing the cars. That's when he got the locks. He said, but everything's secured, Your Honor. The only thing is his guy multiple times talking about Ian busted locks and left the hammer on the steps. And then the plaintiff came in and was like, yeah, all this extra stuff, that was not part of the discussion about having a stay and getting a new receiver and all of that, and was like, so that's not our agreement. So that's not a part of our agreement. So I need that to go on the record. And Whitehead also made it clear. I want to make it clear. I am not admitting to being in contempt. I want to make it clear. Even though I'm coming to an agreement, I ain't followed the order allegedly. I ain't turned over none of this.
Right, that's what I'm saying. How you not agreeing to being in contempt?
I am not admitting to being in contempt. I'm not admitting to non-compliance. I'm not admitting to anything, but I'm going to turn over everything I was supposed to turn in back in March. I'm going to turn that over in the next 2 weeks in August, April, May, June, July, 5 months later.
Right. But I'm not admitting to being in contempt.
That's what he said. He said he's not admitting to being in contempt. And then that's when the judge was like, well, I won't be here. I'm going to be in some other county or court or whatever. And I think she might have said family division. She said, so I might see you there, Mr. Inga. That's, so that must be like a court that he practices in regularly. So then he started responding, about whatever he knew about some judge that was there. So then she was like, thank you guys for coming to a meeting of the mind. And then the receiver said, when they were about to get off, he said, no, y'all not gonna get the last say. Like, I got something to say too. Ian don't care about being on this. Apparently he's not lacking in work. You can tell. First of all, he's in Scotland on vacation. Okay, let's just start with that.
Right.
He's not lacking in work and finances, it doesn't look like. So he said, his recommendation, and this is how we found out that there was a second receiver, because he said, well, the MDC, there's already a receiver already because of the, he said there's already a receiver because of the lack of the water. So that's how we found out about him not paying the water bill and how there was a receiver that was, collecting rent as well. So then he said, but I just want the court to know too, that that if he has two supers that's in there repairing and blocking, doing all this stuff on the property, that's an admission of contempt because they're doing stuff that's in violation of the order.
Basically. Exactly. Like,
I'm the one that got
permission
to do all this stuff. So anytime, if anybody is up in this piece doing anything outside of me, Ian, who was ordered by the court, he ain't contempt. He just admitted if you got two supers up in that piece doing what you saying they doing, then that's violation of the order, and that's in contempt. Like, dang, Ian. Ian said, you're not getting away with nothing. You got anything to add? I'm about to hit for any of these other bald-headed intellects that got something that they want to say about this hearing.
Okay.
It's 600 of y'all in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button and make sure you subscribe if you have not done so already. Don't just be nosy in the bushes. Go ahead and commit to the channel now.
Yeah, go on and subscribe, child. We be cutting up over here with bald-headed Pam all the time.
Listen. So I'm gonna hit that link with Tracy. Where Tracy at? Let me see who else was talking all that smack.
Don,
where you at? Andrea, where you at? Y'all better come. Everybody wanted. Pam said, now it's gonna be really B said. Ooh, y'all see that link? Everybody taking their time. Nah, huh? Come on, Cakes. Cake said.
I sure
Bald-headed Don is here.
That's right. Bald-headed Don.
And
listen,
said,
Pam, you forgot the part where the judge was reminding him that that the stuff that he was saying was on the record, and that the stream was public, and he was like, "Oh, I know." And we thought he was
Right,
about to say,
right.
"Oh, I know Pam watching." I was waiting on him to just say, "I know Pam
Oh,
watching.
I would
I
have
know Pam
hollered.
watching."
If he had said that, when I tell you, I would have fell out.
I was just waiting on him to say, hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished.
Woo, see what y'all missing out when y'all not a member. Y'all don't get this tea. See what y'all missing out. Woo,
Listen,
Lord.
He did, and you
the
are
next
right
time,
though. Like, when he said that, "Oh, I know," the judge was like, "Mr. Whitehead, before you say anything, just know that this is streaming to the public." He said, "Oh, I know." I said, and it sounded like he was gonna say something else. I was like, if this man called my name out, I'm just gonna fall out. Like that's just gonna be it.
No, but you know what he would have said? Oh, I know, because them nosy bloggers be all up in here.
YouTubers.
Baby, when I thought I was going to fall out when Ian said, oh, no, you said it. He said it. He said
Yeah,
it.
yeah. He said it ain't no allegedly. It's
Ain't
not
no allegedly.
allegedly.
Stop saying allegedly. Ain't no
Child.
oh
Hi,
man,
Pam.
Ian was about that life today, and I was here for Ian today. I was Team Ian
Oh, Ian was
all
here for Ian had
day
all the
today.
smoke. Ian had all the smoke for Whitehead. You could tell that he is
But
over it. Like you could tell he is over it.
did y'all see him when Whitehead was talking? He was on mute looking at that window. Man, that
He
took
had to
me
turn his
Oh,
completely
he
head.
out.
was mad.
I
Yeah,
said,
he
He
was
had to turn his
I
head.
mad.
said, he is so mad. He is so mad. You was wasting this man's time.
But Inga ain't getting away with it. Inga thought he was slick. Talking about, yes, and we would like to get this on the record, like he was swearing him into the Boy Scouts. And you are going to do so and so, right? And you're gonna give me the keys in 2 weeks. Is that right? You agree with that? Yes. And then you're going to do so and so.
Yeah,
That's
because
what Whitehead was doing. Whitehead was on his way
I
up to
said,
them. That's when he jumped in his car.
I
He was
said,
on his way to
Inga
Connecticut.
said, this ain't me, Your Honor. This ain't me. You see, he said he gonna give it to me. Everybody on this call know he ain't getting it to me. We all know he ain't gonna give it to me. Ian done told us he ain't getting it to me. And I'm letting you know it ain't on me.
Inga covered
And what?
himself, didn't he? Though Inga was like, "Oh no, let's put this on the record. We about to put this on the record." And was like, and you said you were gonna do, and then that would cover him too if Whitehead comes back and it's an issue because it's like you knew you had 2 weeks. So if you don't turn this over in 2 weeks and we back here next month for this same thing, that's on you.
But wait a minute. What about when Ian was like, excuse me, we ain't about to let you walk up out of here. And you not gonna sit there and not tell her, hey, we ain't got time for your shenanigans today. He basically told on Whitehead before Whitehead got up out of that courtroom, child. Said, it ain't on me. It was on your two supers. I said, Ian got all the smoke today, child.
Baby,
It
when
just
Ian
sound
said
like
about the 2 supers, and the fact that you got 2 supers up in there doing something, you admitting to the contempt
Yeah.
right there, because ain't nobody supposed to be doing nothing but me.
And he said the same thing about the security. He said, Your Honor, he just admitted to the contempt. He said he got security cameras. We don't know anything about security. We don't have access to no security cameras. I said,
He sure did.
this
He
dude
said,
need to
this is
shut
my
up
first hearing
already.
yet. This is my first
Right.
hearing about security camera.
Right. He said, I ain't know nothing about no security cameras. I said, this fool.
This
And the
dude
Kia
was
boys. He let the
on.
Kia boys up in the property. The Kia boys.
This no lie, this has been the best thing I've seen in a long time, honey. I said this top all on the episodes, honey. This was good TV.
Don got bald headed. Don. I hate you.
uh,
Oh
I felt
Now,
bad for Inga. He was giving me battered woman syndrome
what?
towards the
What?
end, and I thought we was gonna have to
wait
get a
a minute.
GoFundMe going for
I
his
said
Wait
the
a
therapy.
minute.
same thing.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
What is the
but
dirty
say
woman syndrome?
She
Battered
said
woman.
battered woman.
battered woman
Oh,
syndrome.
matter. Okay.
I
Yeah.
agree. Because I said, then I started believing. I said, well, you know what? Because I said, he's a battered spouse. Then I said, well, I'm
Let me put
joking.
my allegedly
I'm
sign so I
joking.
heard Inga coming for me.
I said, I'm joking about it, but he done threw on his mirth. It looked like he had a pow in his MERS.
I saw it.
No. I
You
don't know.
know
I ain't
what?
say that. I ain't say that, Whitehead. We not saying that, Andrea here, because that's a whole nother situation. Because he in a whole nother situation with the criminal. I ain't see all that.
And then
But
he come out.
why the bishop?
She said, don't be driving. Don't be driving. He said,
I
yes,
was
John.
just
As he passing through the tunnel, stuff just passing in the window. He just crying. He blowing at people. He blowing at people.
yeah.
Right. He never even stopped. Like, I thought he would, like, cause it looked like he pulled over for a minute, but then he started driving again. I said, now I know that
Yo,
judge just told you that
and he was
that you didn't
driving
have,
fast.
and you didn't have nowhere to be because you were already supposed to be blocking that time out to be in court. You didn't have nowhere to be.
Now he started out on there. He was at home when he started out. That's when the
Right. That's
judge.
what I'm saying. You didn't have nowhere to be that you had to leave out in the middle of the daggone hearing. Come on now.
But
Yeah, he
it
was
is
at
true. People just don't
Instagram
take.
campus.
They don't take virtual court as serious. They don't. They don't take virtual court. I told you, I had a client where we're like, well, it wasn't my client, but the person we was going against. He got so mad. I guess I irritated him so bad doing my cross examination. He went outside and lit up a cigarette right on the video. I said, "Am I stressing you out, sir?"
But my thing was, it was like he kept changing clothes. It was like he just kept changing clothes. You look up, he had on a blue shirt. You look up, he had on a jacket. Then you look up, he had on a black with some brown with a brown merch around his chest. And I'm like, why he keep changing clothes?
But I'm telling y'all what I think he was doing, and this is total. This is really B. This don't have nothing to do
Really
with
be
nobody else.
said.
It's really be said. Really be
Really be
said.
said.
Y'all
I
rehearsed
think
it. Really be said.
really be said. Now I think that he thought that case was going the wrong direction. And I think he hopped in that car to head up to those apartment buildings.
I
I'm being
said
honest
that.
with you.
I
I
said
think he
that.
was on his way to Connecticut, child.
Well, I joined
I
in.
agree.
Cupcake said that too. She said that too. I
I
sure.
agree, honey.
Mhm.
Allegedly, but I agree.
You
I
I
know
agree.
what?
joined
And,
it.
look, I allegedly agree too. And he
I
was setting up
allegedly
stop
agree.
off at
Okay.
Ian's house too with the SWAT.
Oh, I think yeah, Whitehead that's why he started advocating for herself. You know, he really did start. He ain't care. He was like, listen, can I talk? Like, can I say what I gotta say? Because he felt like he was better to advocate for himself and better say what, his version of the facts are than what Inga was. Inga is just he just seemed very, and you get some very laid back attorneys, but to me, the plaintiff's attorney is pretty laid back too. That's why the few times that they've shot a few darts, I've been like, oh, look at them getting a little tough. Because they just kind of come across real passive to be, okay, Your Honor, if you say we gotta postpone it, I'll be fighting like, no. We've been waiting for a year. We've been waiting for whatever amount of months. I don't want to post. It'll be all over the record that I never want to postpone.
Look, okay. Here's what took me out. Did y'all notice when he turned on the midnight lights and the stars in the car?
No, I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
it was at the end.
Honey,
Yeah,
When
I
at the
definitely
end
saw
when he
that.
was sitting, he turned the
he
phone
done
where you
turned
could
on the
see them
midnight
darn
lights and the stars in the
stars.
car. They was
Hmm.
twinkling.
Yep.
Hmm.
The stars on the roof.
I don't under,
All over the roof of the car.
I don't understand how initially he had 48 hours to do this, and we've gone through months, and now he's still getting an additional 2 weeks to do this. I don't
There,
I
there
don't
is
understand how we doing
there's
this.
absolutely
That's
no
crazy.
excuse at this point. If they go back to court, then it shouldn't be a hard decision to make. You
Did
know,
you did y'all hear? You might have said it, Pam, but I don't remember. But did y'all hear when he was really trying to talk and he was trying to talk over her? I believe it was towards the end, and she said, "Well, I'll hear you talk because some people they just need to say something. They need
yeah,
to
I
talk."
said that.
Right.
I
I
said,
Yeah.
let him
She said
talk.
it just sometimes people just need to get it out.
Well, honestly, I thought the judge was shading Whitehead for a second there because I was like,
Nah,
She was.
she was really trying to help, and I think in my opinion, I think part of that was her affinity for the attorney for Inga. It seemed like she was cool with him, like or she knew him. She said she's known him for years and all of that. I
Mm-hmm.
think that was part of why she probably was looking like, okay, he might need a little bit of assistance here.
She did seem like she felt so bad for Inga because she kept trying to make sure that Whitehead knew that, hey, let him do it. You have a great attorney. I've known him for years. He is a wonderful attorney, very capable. I would leave it to my attorney if I were you.
Yeah,
She told him to shut up. She said,
he did.
he said, that's what she said, that's what you pay him for. Basically,
Yeah.
if you don't shut up, like you are really not helping yourself.
But
He
How
just
many
can't
yeah,
help
people got
the
himself.
paid?
problem was he just felt like what? First of all, they had how many witnesses were waiting? It was so many witnesses
It
over
was
there
so
50
many
left.
over there on the
50
side.
left. They
that
had
were waiting. They wasn't even. They didn't scratch the surface of the hearing. The hearing was scheduled for almost all. I think that judge did the whole day for that
Yeah,
hearing. So
because remember she said that. Yeah, she
because she
blocked
said she
out.
wanted testimony. She wanted because that was the other judge. Remember, it was
yeah,
people from the city. It
blocked
was
off
people from
the
the
whole
fire
day.
department. Remember, it was people from the city, from the fire department, from the code enforcement. It was people from the loan company, from the management company. Ian. It was all kinds of folks. I think but didn't they say like 18?
It was a bunch of people.
Yeah, it was a lot
There
of
was a
people
lot
that
of
were over
people.
there. So that's what I'm saying is that it wasn't like it was some opening statements or something. So it was like Whitehead wanted to speed it up. He wanted to speed this thing up and get to his point, and it wasn't happening fast enough. So he was like, "Shoot, let me talk. Forget this. Like I'm tired of this dude on here." Him and Ian was like this. He don't need to be the receiver at this point because we don't know what might happen.
Because toward the end, Ian was trying to get him, trying more forcefully with Ian's, not Ian, but Inga's level of forcefully. Hold on, wait a minute, hold on. He says, no, hold on, I got this. Hold on, I need to, let me say this right here, and you can go. Let me say this right here. I got this. Let me say this right here. I said, what on earth?
Child.
Why does it sound like me when I start getting into that old man speak, that old black man speak? But when I thought, look at here, y'all, England was on
It
one
was
today,
on.
boy.
It
He
was
was mad
on.
enough. Them nostrils was flared big and wide enough for a Mack truck to go in there and do a U-turn.
You know what? It was probably. I'm assuming it was on Zoom, but they stream it on YouTube. So it's kind of
He was
both of those platforms because that's how we do it.
It
Like,
was Teams. It was Microsoft Teams.
yeah, well, our judge uses Zoom. They use Teams. Well, they use whatever
yeah, I hate
software and
that.
then
I
they air it on
hate it.
YouTube. Is how they do it. So anyway, all right, y'all. I'm about to get off here because I gotta
Well,
eat.
hold on, Pam, right quick.
And
I would just
I
like,
love. Wait 1 second, Cupcakes.
okay,
And
okay.
remember, y'all. Cupcake said. Andrew said. Chef Don said. Really B said. Pam ain't said it. They was all on here. Listen, they was all on here. Like
I'm right
it
here.
wasn't just me. The Morris Nation said it wasn't me.
Oh, wait a minute,
Listen,
Pam. I said I ain't.
I have one thing to say.
Okay.
I just ask that y'all do one thing. Y'all don't get us blocked. Cause I be leaving the stuff. Y'all be over there mentioning our names and
Well,
stuff. Don't get us
that's why I ain't
blocked.
I'm not gonna tell you
Please
what my
stop.
Instagram username is.
Don't be over there telling. Gosh, I'm gonna have to
You
change my
told me
name
from
on the
from
child
Santa
because y'all
Claus.
You
y'all like
think
to
you
tell
gotta
on
change
people.
your name now.
And
Yeah,
then
because
what's
people like, you know what people do? They go in there and they tag my name. And I'm like, I already know this man watch me. Why y'all tagging my name?
That's why I don't
Um,
tell nobody what my I think Tracy knows, and that's about it. I don't tell nobody what my
No, I
Instagram
know what
name
you
is.
been about to get
You
with
know
me
it. It really
too.
be knows it. You know it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chef Don
I
Don
know it too.
Chef Don Don know it, but don't nobody else know it.
But it's funny though. I said I didn't even think about having different names on different platforms so you'll know it's me. I didn't
That's
even think
actually
about
why I had to change my name because I was getting a lot of slack from a lot of people. They were just like, I was like, no, I'm changing my name today.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what you
I
have to
have
say? What you have to say, Cakes, before you jump up off of here? Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. We know you don't
you're
like
welcome,
coming
you're
on
welcome. I
often.
don't, but it's okay. I love you though. I love you though. I come on for you. But I would just like Pam, really be, and Chef Don Don to know, y'all price just went up, right? Because all y'all on this thing
Yeah,
together
don't
tonight,
start.
and
Don't
y'all is already
start.
at hundreds of thousands. Now it's about to be billions and trillions. Because all y'all on here together,
Child,
You
I
getting
skipped
wish.
all this
millions.
money off
You
of
skipped the
him.
millions. You skipped the
I
millions
wish.
because just
And
to,
I
bald
did.
headed Pam paid her followers to log
when he
in
did the
to log
live about
into my
Belmonte,
hearing.
You said when I
it
did the
was
live about
millions.
Monty.
No, when he did that live about exposing Belmonte with that lady on the phone, he said that the YouTubers is getting millions now. Okay, so first it was hundreds of
Yeah, we
thousands.
went from
Now we're
yeah,
getting
we
millions.
millionaires now,
So
child.
now it's
Off of
billions
his
and
name.
trillions and everything after that.
Off of his name, honey.
Off of
But
him.
let me say this, Pam, and I gotta thank you so much because you are probably you're not the only black lawyer content creator, but you're the only one that I actually like and trust. So whenever I get the opportunity, child, to get up on here, you gonna know.
Thank you so much. I
Um.
appreciate it.
Oh, and by the way, please don't tag my name in when y'all go and chat with Whitehead.
Listen, no, they still gonna say Pam said. They over here acting like they not gonna do it, but I know they still gonna do it. They still gonna say, "Well, over there, Pam on her platform in her membership, we was watching the we was
Pam, and see, I be having your back. I be having your back when I go live. I be like, y'all quit saying Pam said. Y'all quit saying Pam name. Y'all make him call her bald headed Pam every time because it's y'all.
I am literally a thorn in his side. He just hate my name. When people say my name, he just hate it. I'm like, Whitehead, when you get your props, I give you like today. I think you should have. Your lawyer was tripping. He was slipping. Like I give you your props when you're supposed to have it.
Wait a minute, Pam. You need to
Your
be like
props.
Pam. You need to be like Destiny Child and be like, say my name, say my name.
No, that's all right. I need him to keep
Uh-uh.
my name up out his mouth.
I tell you what he could do is I'm telling you, he could try to get him a partnership with that Merce company. I think it was a Louis. See if he can get him a partnership with that Merce company because he was wearing that Merce, man.
You know what?
He was
Not
wearing
the
that Merce.
nerve. I'm not doing Andrew. All right, Andrew, before you got him.
Oh, I didn't say no, that's bad. I'm just saying he was wearing that Merce right across his chest where the seatbelt was supposed to be.
You know what? I'm not doing this. This ain't got nothing to do with the document, with the case, okay? Bye, Andrew. We love you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Cupcake. Don Don, you got anything else to say?
No, good night, everybody.
Ah, good night.
Good night. Good night. I'm about to drop off too, Pam. Good
Good
night,
night, Minnie
y'all.
B. Thank you for coming on.
No problem, my love. Anything for you, Pam. Anything for
Oh,
you.
that's so sweet. Y'all make a girl feel good. Thank you. So, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's live. Make sure that if you haven't done so already, please subscribe, hit the like button. I will keep you guys updated on this case and all the other cases that we have been covering. For those of you that don't know, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate it. For those of you that don't know, there are, and this is switching gears, there are 9 mugshots that have come out of the 19 person indictment involving Trump being the head of everybody. Trump is supposed to turn himself in tomorrow. On my wall, I posted Giuliani's mugshot and also the bonds. Mark Meadows, I have a reel that is on Instagram. Y'all go follow me on Instagram if you haven't. It's pam.esq. Follow me on Instagram. I did a reel and I put the document for Mark Meadows. He was the former chief of staff for Donald Trump. He's also indicted on a couple of counts, and he's trying to get his case removed to federal court under the supremacy clause. And so because Fannie gave them till Friday to turn themselves in, and he doesn't have a hearing on the change of venue till Monday, he was trying to get Madam Fonnie Willis to give him a 1-day adjournment, I guess, until the hearing on Monday so he doesn't have to turn himself in. Madam Fonnie said you had 2 weeks. You don't get no type of special treatment up in here. Turn yourself in on Friday or you will be arrested. So what Mark Meadows did was file a motion, an emergency motion to stay the arrest and to stop her from making him come in for an arrest in federal court. Well, the court just ruled today, yeah, you really don't have any law to stop her from arresting you. So Mark Meadows will be getting a mugshot. People keep asking why there are mugshots now for these individuals because it's on the state side. Federal, they don't release the mugshots. But stateside, we actually can do Freedom of Information Act request and try to get the mugshot. So Mark Meadows will probably have a mugshot along with Trump in the next 24 to 48 hours. Yes, denied. Fonnie is not playing. So I am going to, on Monday, when Mark Meadows does his hearing, I may discuss that if you guys are interested in that. I know everybody's not interested in the political side, and I respect that. So if anybody wants to, like, follow the Georgia, it's going to be very interesting. There are some people that we know that are on YouTube that are there waiting on Trump, been there since yesterday, got their position, because everybody wants to get that first video and snapshot of him coming in to turn himself in. All of them have to turn himself into Fulton County. I think that it's very interesting that Madam Willis is allowing people to negotiate their bonds before they turn themselves in. So they're going into jail, being processed, but they already know they're not going to wait in jail. Like, that's not going to happen. So instead of waiting, you go before a judge, and then the judge has a bond hearing. Sometimes you got to wait in jail for the bond hearing and all of that. She's letting them pre-negotiate all of their bonds. So as you see on my wall, I have Rudy Giuliani's bond, which is $150,000. And from my understanding, he went to a bail bondsman, probably maybe put up a house or whatever he did. And so he won't be spending the night in Fulton County jail. But yeah, there's been 9 mugshots that came out today. I only put Rudy Giuliani because I don't really know none of these other people like that. But yeah, if y'all want to follow that, of course, we'll do that over here. I hope you guys enjoyed this live. I definitely enjoyed you guys. Make sure if you guys can, whenever, join the membership. We have a good time over there. We were live. I actually deleted the videos though, but we were live 2 times this morning, just discussing most of the stuff that we already discussed because they were watching. It was probably, like I said, 35 to 40 of us that were watching this hearing. And so if I have any hearings that are online, I usually try to post them in the membership. So it's one of the perks, and then I'll go live and we discuss it afterwards. So. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Symmetry. Head on back. Thank you. I appreciate. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, guys. So we out of here. Thank you again for the $10, Mr. CKB. I appreciate it. No, just go back and hit the replay. I'm not taking it down. Go ahead and hit that good replay. Make sure you guys read the disclaimer, because I have people on my, when I have people on the platform, it ain't always what Pam said. That's their opinions. So all the commentary ain't me, since I have people on there. So make sure you read the disclaimer, because I don't need nobody coming after your girl. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed yourself, and I hope you guys have a fabulous night. I love each and every one of you guys, and hopefully we'll be back to do this soon. I gotta go.
Yeah. So many lies that you hear from the net, they don't get her respect. She reporting the truth, not a check. You want an unbiased opinion straight from the chest, not a bit accomplice or someone here for a check. Tune in, these are thoughts from a lawyer on a mission who goes so hard it's like she works on commission. Trolls in the comments might say she tripping cause they lack the knowledge, they don't know they missing. Got a couple current events that you like, wanna know about law from the eyes. Tired of all these blogs running lies because their agendas are disguised. Tune in to the intellect, cause I'm sure y'all missing all the facts of the case that she steady is gifting. Someone here for the people, man, it's so uplifting. If you ain't subscribed yet, then you just omitting facts.